Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel, Love for Intuitive Astrology. My name is Michelle and today I will talk about the aspect between the Sun and Pluto and more so the difficult aspects, okay? Like my aim on my YouTube channel is to help you grow, and we can grow the most by looking at the most difficult aspects in our chart. And I'm completely magnetized by the influence of Pluto. Some of you know and some of you don't, but I have Pluto on the ascendant, so within 1 degree. So I've led a very Plutonic life, and I made it my mission to break through my lessons, break through karma, and part of what I'm going to share is from my own experience, astrology, and as a Pluto dominant, I tend to attract other people who are Pluto dominants as well. And both my parents are also have strong Plutos in their chart. So with this experience, I hope I can help you a little bit in understanding this aspect and how to break through the difficulties, because Pluto brings the biggest rewards if we know how to handle it, if we know how to deal with it. So I'm going to break up into the square, into the conjunction, and the opposition. So they're quite similar in how they act, but I still want to keep it separate. So I'm going to start with the Sun squaring Pluto. So when we look at the Sun, right, this is our ego. This is how we identify with ourselves, and you can check which sign is your Sun in, right? This can also help you understand better what it is that you want to identify about yourself in this lifetime. And then there's Pluto, and this is the subconscious. This is a very difficult planet because we don't really know at first what's going on, right? So Pluto is creating blocks and bumps in the road on your path that are preventing you from getting what you so desire. So Pluto is the underworld, so everything hidden. So there are some things about within our selves, our shadow side, right, that we aren't willing to express or admit yet. And very often we will meet other people projecting certain weaknesses within yourself, so we can learn a lot from the people around us. And when we look at the Sun, it's very often related to the father, right? Authority figures. So if you have a square, this is a tension. So it's either like, I know who I am, and then give your power away. So there is this sense of, I have this bigger purpose in life. It's just sometimes it's hard to get there, right? And what life is kind of pushing towards your way is an ego death, right? So sorry for the traffic, but it's an ego death. So in order to get to achieve what you want to achieve, it is very important to let the ego go, right? Because Pluto wants power. So you're very drawn to maybe very successful and powerful people, right? Because they have something that you feel maybe you're still lacking, right? So you might be very attracted to these very powerful people. And part of it is because either you don't own it yet, right? Or they mirror something. But for you, the only way to get where you want to be is to have an ego death and increase your inner power. So not in a manipulative way, so not controlling the outside world to get where you want to be when it comes to your purpose, but to have an inner drive. So this inner drive to want to achieve things without kind of needing other people, right? Or kind of influencing other people. So it is from inside out. So because you are such a powerful personality, and this is felt by other people. So you go into jobs and people are kind of like, whoa. They feel this Pluto presence. They feel this power boiling within you. So one of the things that's important is to own this power and to use it for regenerative purposes. So use it to really transform other people, right? So you could be a great psychologist. You could be someone that really helps people go through difficult times in whatever form that may be. So you're able to handle quite heavy things, right? But you're going to get a lot of adversity first before you get there. It could also be that, for example, because the sun can represent father or a dominant figure in your life that maybe wanted you to become someone that you're not completely okay with. So you might first start off with a career that's not suiting for you, or you're not going there at all. And life is going to push you towards doing that. So it's about owning your inner strength, owning your identity, right? Because if there's a square, you tend to like go into extremes, right? So there's times where you overly identify with yourself, which because you're so afraid that you will lose your power. So then it might come across as a little bit self-destructive, a little bit selfish, okay? And this is no attack. I have a strong Pluto, so I know it's a very sensitive topic, right, that we need to face, but we all have shadow sides. So the more we become self-aware, the easier we can go to our purpose, right? And we can help other people transform as well. So it's very important to understand what is it that I want and how can I get there without influencing the outer world, but really becoming the identity and have a healthy balance between being powerful and being you, so that the ego is not overly taking. Some of you actually had to deal with a very dominant father in childhood. Maybe he was dominating you, trying to compete with you, and maybe in a way you're trying to prove, right? Because very often we replay our childhood traumas to other people. So you want to prove the world what you're capable of. So what happens is, when you want to prove so much your word, look at me, people are going to like kind of push you away. They're like, okay, we know. And when you're like, the people you're so drawn to that are so powerful, they very often have this inner strength. I know who I am. I'm going to do something really useful for this world. I'm going to help a lot of people, and then people are going to be drawn to you like a magnet, right? Because you have this very magnetic aura that people are very drawn to, but they're also a little bit scared of it. But in order for, if you want to please people because they are scared of this presence, you're going to give your power away, right? So stay with your own identity, and it could sometimes make people uncomfortable, but if your intentions are always pure and good, you can work with it, right? So look at where your sun is and where you can fully align with your purpose, and listen to your heart's desires, right? So what is it you want to be identified with? Because a lot of you have a strong sense of purpose and you want to express that, and sometimes you subconsciously might go into substances or stuff like this because you're denying a part of yourself. So it's very important to fully integrate and fully align with what your heart is telling you and not what your ego. This makes more money, so I will go for that. But that could be completely out of alignment with what your heart is telling you. So the ego must die in order for the heart to speak, and your identity will come through, right? Because we have our mind to think and we have our heart to speak. So we need to really listen to what's happening from the inside. Okay, so yeah, use the difficulties in your life as a lesson. So see what's happening and learn also how to listen. So it's difficult because you will have difficult authority figures above you that maybe might make your life a little bit difficult. And what you need to learn here is to learn from other people, but without giving your power away. So you need to find the right balance between being you and learning how to deal with these authority figures. Try to learn from them. So even if they're not a very pure person, you see what effect it has to be misusing power. Okay? So they might represent like, don't become like this, become this type of leader. So you purify yourself and transform it into a very bright light Pluto version, because it's higher octave than Mars. So you can really become, there's a lot of spiritual teachers with strong Pluto placements, because you can really dive into shadow sides of yourself, right? And this is not easy. We don't want to see this side of ourselves. So people with difficult Pluto aspects usually are here to learn a lot and to really grow, old souls. Okay, so this is my explanation about Sun Square Pluto. Obviously this is a small description, and I also do private readings, so you can send me an email that you find in the description box below, and I can check your chart personally, and so I can help you transform into the beautiful person you're meant to be and help you with your purpose. Okay, so let's move on now to the conjunction. So Pluto square the Sun. So here we have two planets, and usually conjunction I tend to count up to 5 degrees as very strong. You can count it up to 10, but 5 to 10 is less prominent than up to 5 degrees. Okay, so what happens is an integration of two planets that cannot act without the other. So even though you might have your sun in, for example, a softer sign, a water sign like Pisces, your Pluto will come through. So it's like, you know, it will be dominant. And I mean, Pisces is not the best example because most people don't have Pluto in Pisces. They would probably have it in Scorpio, Sagittarius. Some of you have it in Virgo, Leo, right? Because it's a very generational planet and it stays a long time in the same sign. So yeah, it's very important. Some of you, yeah, okay, never mind. I'm getting a brain freeze. So they act completely in alignment or out of alignment, okay? So you might have very scorpionic traits, even though your sun sign is in a different sign. That's what I mean to say. So you really are like a BS detector. You can see through people. You have a very like powerful presence. So no matter what, you kind of do have the penetrating eyes. You're really seeing through people's shadow sides, okay? And this is very exhausting for you because it's hard to be yourself when you see the truth of other people, right? And the sun is all about your identity. So it can go different ways, right? What needs to happen with this conjunction is that you have a healthy alignment between these two planets. Because if the sun is your ego and Pluto is the shadow planet, right, that can be transformed into a higher purpose, it is so, so important for you to use this aspect in a bright side, because it tends to have darker expressions if used the wrong way. And this is with Pluto, any placement. I have Pluto placements, and when I was younger, I could definitely see the more darker aspects. Even though I was a very innocent child, it's about manipulation, right? So there is a part of you trying to manipulate. And this is in order for you to control the outer situation. But your ultimate goal is to regenerate and to align with your inner power, right? Because people feel your presence. You come into a room and people are like, ooh, okay, you know? They sense subconsciously that there's danger. Why is there danger? Because you look through people's shadow side. So you can feel it, you can see it, right? And for some of you, you can recognize it. Because in life, you had to go through the lower parts, right? You had to go to self-destructive energies. You had to go through manipulation in order to understand that this is not in alignment with your own ego. And what happens is, if you use this the correct way, you grow, you grow, you grow, you grow, you grow, and you can get into spiritual awakening, alignment with your highest self. You can be very enlightened, okay? So why? Because people who go through spiritual awakening, spiritual alignment, they are completely okay and with their shadow side, they understand it and they integrate it into the light, right? Because yin yang is black and white, so there's an integration. So you're a very, very powerful individual, and in this life you're getting the choice how you're going to use it. Are you going to use it to help other people because you feel a strong purpose to help people, right? And the universe is going to back this plan up when you learn how to let go of ego, when you're learning how to let go of expectations on other people. And sometimes I see that you build a wall around you because you've been hurt. This wall is up and it's really hard for people to to break this wall, okay? So it's scary because you tend to be hurt. And in some cases you had a pretty dominant father who puts maybe a lot of pressure, a lot of expectations on you, and you kind of like protecting yourself from that to happen again. You're protecting your identity, not showing your true cards to other people, keeping it to yourself. But you know what happens is that it's really hard to read you, so people tend to poke you for you to become more vulnerable, and you feel attacked, and this is like a cycle that keeps then happening. So the moment you become inner strength, inner power, more open, this is when you own your power of your own identity. I feel identified with this, and I'm 100% in my power, 100% in alignment with this. And of course, it's life, we sometimes fall out of alignment, but we can regenerate. You can regenerate really quickly back into it, align it again. What is it that I want, right? And this is where you can go into the highest purpose by not letting other people dominate you. You might have troubles with males in your life dominating you, especially when your father was quite dominant. You will replay these childhood events through other men in your life, no matter if you're male or female, okay? The trick here is to really look at yourself, because there are ways that you could self-sabotage. Why? Because people in the past might have hurt you. males in the past might have hurt you. They didn't took you very serious, or they felt this danger and tried to attack you. Especially if you're a man, you will feel this competition, you know, like this testosterone competition going on, like butting heads, I think. Yeah. And for women, what I've seen is that you're very closed. It's like closed. I can do everything by myself kind of thing. I don't need anyone to help me, you know? So some of you really even abstain from relationships, friendships, and you spend a lot of time by yourself. But at the same time, you're craving for this merge with someone else. You're craving for a relationship. You're craving for friendship. So what is really the shadow side of it is that it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Because your wall is up. People are like, who is this person? Where's your identity? They sense that you're trying to control yourself. So others tend to try to control you. So this is like the mirror, okay? And this is deep stuff, I know, but I know who's watching here. You're really on your spiritual path already, and you're ready to grow, and you're ready to take things to the next level. So I'm really, really so proud of you, right? You're amazing. And you know, these aspects are the people that can help other people on huge levels. So it's very important to transform the darkness into the light and become this beautiful, powerful individual, right? We're talking about psychics here. We're talking about really good detectives. We're talking about people that are comfortable with shadow sides. And when do you become comfortable with that? When you become comfortable with your own shadow side. You know, trying to control the outer world to do what you want them to do. Because you're scared, otherwise it won't happen, or you don't get the high position that you want. But in reality, you just need to own your power and say, hey, okay, yeah, maybe it is a little bit scary to be with me, but I'm a genuine person. I just know what I want. I'm strong. I'm a strong person, and I'm gonna just own it. And when you own it, you will see people will react different to you. Right? They will react different to you. It's about using this massive power to help others. So yeah, a lot of you psychics, detective, psychologists, you can have a massive impact, but you have to start small, within to outside, not outside in. And this is one of the major lessons, is to merge these two together, inside out. That will draw people in, that will draw opportunities in, right? And if you want to start big, because you're probably inspired by these powerful people, maybe you want to be surrounded by powerful people, that is because they have something you don't have. You know, this is basically what is jealousy about for any person. We very often either very attracted, this love at first sight kind of thing, where it's too intense to even, it's because this person has traits you don't have. So by having those traits, you can attract someone amazing on your level, and you can attract the job that you so crave for, because you do have a bigger purpose. You can sense it, but you have to start from inside out and be patient. Once your ego is not looking at power, money, all these things, and you're coming from a place of purity to help others, you will have everything that you desired before. But the difference is that you don't desire it anymore. It comes when you don't want it anymore. Reverse psychology, right? So this is why, and this is very interesting, what I've learned is that when you get supernatural powers, once you learn, right, how to purify yourself, and then God is like, you can handle it now. You can handle these things now. But if you're coming from a bad place of self-destruction, I mean, it's possible, you can still open up, but you will attract unluck, and you want to do harm to others. You know, this is where the kind of black magic thing happens. because even the littlest thing, because you're so powerful, your words have massive impact on people, right? So you can manifest many things. So be aware of your words, be aware of what are you in alignment with, and you can come really far in life. So yeah, this is my interpretation of Sun Pluto. I can talk about this for much longer, but I want you to give like a general overview and inspiration to go after your purpose. If you need some help, I do private readings. You find all the information and my email in the description box below. As well, if you like this channel and you want to grow spiritually and you want to see like monthly forecasts, you can subscribe to my channel. I'm really happy to make these videos. I feel so honored you're here. So thank you, and I'm really proud of your growth and your willingness to look into your shadow side. It's not easy, so well done. And I'm ready to move on to the last one. We're gonna have the opposition, so Pluto opposite the Sun. So Sun is our identity, right? And when we have an opposition, you can see like it's like one or another, and it's very often projected onto other people. So Pluto is already a planet that really projects to others. So there is a lot of control, okay? Like I said, it is very sensitive information, but it is the trigger to go to a higher level spiritually and to get where you want to be, because a lot of you feel like you have a bigger destiny, like you are meant to do something with your talents, and part of you is trying to avoid it. So the opposition is most likely to not be in alignment with your purpose. So it could be that maybe father told you to, because Sun can represent father or an authority figure. Maybe he was like, yeah, I want you to be a lawyer. And you were like, I don't want to be a lawyer, I want to be a painter, you know? And you spend most of your life becoming a lawyer because it makes money, gives you power, not knowing that an artist can also make money and can also be powerful. So it really depends on how you see things. And when you start to find, so this is the line of the opposition, find a midway between what you want and your power. This is where you come in alignment. So when you're owning only one of the two, you will very often attract someone romantically, or friendships, or family member projecting the other extreme. So if you're not owning your power, you're gonna be controlled, dominated constantly. In work, you're gonna be controlled in your whatever environment, you know? And I can honestly tell this happened to me. I don't have the aspect of Sun opposite Pluto, but I have Pluto on the ascendant, square Venus, and in the workplace constantly I was dealing with people that tried to control me. What did I have to learn? 1, stay within owner integrity. 2, listening to other people. I can learn from other people, okay? Ego, that is the ego. That is Pluto is showing your subconscious dark side, and the Sun is ego. So it's very important that we can learn from other people, and then we can integrate it into being more of a leader. So let people teach you. And you know, a big part of it is to have ego death, to grow, and to, if you're the one dominating, you attract people that, you know, maybe are not strong in their identity. So there might be some shifts, and there's a karma. So it's like you're either one person or the other, right? And this could be represented through bosses. Maybe you don't have work at all, you're like undervalued, you have nothing to do, or it's never good enough, you need to do more. So part of it is having self-worth, believing in your own self, and live from the heart, your identity, right? Because if you think from here, this is gonna make me more money, this will make me powerful, there are gonna be blocks in the road. You're not gonna be happy with that road. You gotta come from your own identity, your own purpose. If you do that and you stop desiring money, money will come. Recognition will come, right? So it's about wanting to help other people and not I'm gonna help them and I hope for recognition in return. So coming from the heart with a true desire to help other people, with a true desire to transform. And you know, a lot of you are such good readers. You can read the room, okay? But when there's an opposition, you also tend to attract people that are also seeing your shadow side. So there's a lot of triggers, right? And they come to friends, and it is about you having good boundaries as well. So who am I and who's the other person? So we don't have this osmosis, I think it's called, when you merge too much with someone else, or you project your feelings to someone else. You're feeling bad and you say, hey, why are you feeling bad? This is opposition, right? It's like your pain is projected on someone else, or someone else is projecting pain on you. What does these projection mean? Means hidden feelings. So if others project on you, have better boundaries. What do I feel? What do I identify with? Is that what they say I am, or is that what I feel I am, right? So if your father was a little bit dominant, maybe even abusive, and he's like, yeah, you should become a doctor, but you don't identify with being a doctor, what are you gonna do? Are you becoming a doctor against your own will, or are you fighting it? So there's a lot of adversity when it comes to Pluto and the Sun in opposition, right? Until you find the midway, the yin and yang between the two, owning your power and owning your identity without trying to control the people around you, okay? So this might be through a little bit of self-destruction sometimes. Like, if you don't do this for me, I'll do this, right? And this could be either way. This could be the other person, this could be you. So either have better boundaries or stop dominating other people. So it's the extremes, right? You're probably attracted to very powerful people. They intrigue you, and you would like to be friends with these people because they have something you know you have deep inside of you. So it's a very strange thing that sometimes jealousy is literally they have something that you want to have, but you could have. You have actually, you know, because the people around you are sending things to you that you also have, right? So there's this very, you know, the empath narcissistic pattern is very common with this, and I know it's a very like squeezed subject, but it is prominent now with this whole social media times. We do have a lot of self-absorbed people because that's what we're being taught in this society. You think about yourself, you don't need anyone else. So we're getting really proud individuals as well, you know, like I don't need anyone to help me. No, I'll do it myself. Or you let someone else do completely everything and your identity is just falling away. So in relationships, stand your ground, and in any relationship, family, father, boss, anything, feel and stay in that integrity, what is right for you, right? And watch out for people who are trying to draw you into, like, for example, criminal activities or like quick money-making schemes, like because you like these powerful types because you know there is a bigger purpose in life, and you know you can get very far, right? But try to stay in the light. This is Pluto, wants to transform and go to the light. So pay attention to your relationships. What do you attract? And what I wanted to say is that I have a dynamic where I attracted a lot of narcissistic people. And why? Because I was a complete doormat. Sure, I have time. Sure, come here. Sure, come there. You know, people that weren't even narcissistic, I made narcissistic because they can just take. So, what didn't I do? Integrate my Pluto, right? Integrate my inner power. No, I don't have time today. No, I think about myself today. Not in a selfish way, because it can outer two things. Either too selfish, which happened to me when I was younger. I didn't really give to anyone. And then I went to the other side, like, I'm gonna give everything to you. I want the world to heal and I can do that. No, midway. Give and take, natural flow without controlling it. Don't say, I'll give you this and you give me that. Always consider, what do I want to give? If I give you money, I just give it because I want to give you, not because I get something out of it. All right, and this is a very sensitive topic for Pluto. You're right, this is a very Plutonic thing, but you can transform it, letting go the outcome of situations and letting your purpose arrive in your life instead of trying to chase it. Okay, so yeah, this is a little bit of a overview of Sun opposite Pluto. Let me know in the comments how this resonates with you. You're a powerful individual. You could be like a psychic, psychologist, very powerful. So use your inner strength and light to help this world. We need you. Okay, so yeah, I do private readings, so if you need some help in certain situations, find all the details below and send me an email for a private reading. You can also, if you want to know more about psychology, astrology, intuitive messages, forecast, meditations, I do them every month. You can subscribe to my channel, and I really hope to see you next time. I'm so proud of you for even looking at this video, working on the shadow sides, shadow integration. This is not easy. Not everybody's doing it, so well done to you. Absolutely appreciate your presence here. Thank you so much. I'm grateful for your self-awareness. So thank you, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.